Yeah, it's all working. It's all working. Right, good. That's good. This is amazing. So if you don't know where I am 1,000 kilometers east of Moscow, uh, quite far away from you today.
What time is it where you are?
Sorry, how
What
cold?
time is it?
In centigrade, it's about -7 now. It's really nice and warm, really snowy, really piles of snow, huge piles of snow. Quite tricky to walk around, especially for, women with children and elderly, but they're cleaning the streets all the time. And it's nice and mild. It's the perfect winter weather, which I missed, and I'm so happy to be here again and experience it. So it's quite interesting. But I'm glad you can hear me.
What
Tell
are
me.
you going to do there?
Sorry.
Hello. Good evening. What
Hello.
are you going to do?
I'm visiting my parents.
Oh, they live there.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
What is the name of the town?
Oh, Naberezhnye Chelny. It's a long name. You won't remember. It translates as boats on the river. It's an old town that's become quite big now, very industrial, boxes and boxes and boxes of blocks, and a lot of blocks look similar. You can get lost in them.
I know that. We have that the same in Holland, in the Bijlmermeer, and now they are going to rebuild this because it looks like Russia there.
Yeah, well, and they're not going to rebuild anything here. It's staying as is. They are building lots of new buildings. And when I last went for a run here, I went out of town. I went maybe 2 or 3 kilometers out of town where it used to be forest and fields. Now it's all built up.
Wow.
It's
But are they still building like this?
Oh yeah. Yes,
because
well, some of them are nice, and also there were some expensive rich people's cottages. So there are nicer buildings there, on kind of closer to outskirts of Naberezhnye Chelny, and river Kama is here. So there is Volga, and River Kama goes further east. And we have Volga 2 hours drive from here is Volga. And Volga is in Kazan, which is the capital city of Tatarstan, where I was yesterday. So I was in Tatarstan, in Kazan, and now I traveled here. People are still arriving, so give us another minute, yeah, before we start. What else? I've learned yesterday that there is no longer a president in Tatarstan. We used to have our own president. And now that person in kind of in charge of Tatarstan is not called the president. He is called some kind of administrative something, but Tatarstan, Central Russia, Deborah. I'm talking about Tatarstan. So obviously now in Russia there can be only one president, so the structure has changed. Right, people are still arriving. Yeah, yeah. Go on. Somebody spoke. I heard someone speaking.
No, I just had a rather revolutionary idea, Polina.
Yeah.
Do you think if we sent a set of antique soldiers for Mr. P to play with, he would leave everybody else in peace?
Don't start. And I'm still in Russia, so let me be careful. Leslie, this is Tatarstan. Yes, Tatarstan is how you write it, and it's the size of France. The capital city is 1,200,000 people, and the place where I am now, which is further east, has about 700,000 population, 650 to 700,000. So it's quite a big place.
And am I right in thinking that the national dish is plov?
No, you're thinking Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan, and further east, out of Russia. This is still Russia. Southern Russia also, they make plov, which is this rice dish with meat and carrots and onion, but not here. Here they have kubadia, which is rice, and kurt, which is like steamed tvarog, which is a cottage cheese kind of thing, and mashed egg and raisins, all baked in these sweet pastry.
Gyros.
Yeah, and there's balish, which is meat potatoes all wrapped like a closed pizza. Meat potatoes mashed up and in dough, baked. Lots of nice and very filling food here. I guess we should start. And I don't know if some of you read a little note today. When I asked my parents, what do you think of Petlura, who gets mentioned in the song we're singing today? Well, my father came up with all sorts of things to say. So I said, why don't you come to our session a bit later and tell us a little bit about that? So I think that would be
That's
interesting.
great. We'd like to see your parents. It would be great.
Well, I think my father is not shy. He will come in later. Let's start singing and see what happens. I hope this piano will entertain you. So we will start with a little warm-up. Now, I'm seeing some of you unmuted. Jack, you want to say something?
No,
Okay, you're now switched off. And Judith, Judith, you want to say something? You're switched on. Hello? Okay. So let's start with a little niggin just to warm up. Let's do this one. Die da da die die die, I die 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 die, I da die da die 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 die, I da da die die die. Okay, I'll lead you through it. Let's go. I da da die die die, I die 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 die, I da die da die 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 die, I da da die die die. I da da die die die, I die 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 die, I da die da die 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 die. One more time. I da da die die die, I die 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 die, I da die da die 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 die, I da da die die die. I da da die die die, I die 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 die, I da die da die 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 die. Okay, how many of you know this tune? Let me see. Who knows that tune? It was sung in some of the class fests, certainly in Eastern Europe. Adrian Cooper used to sing it, and Sarah Gordon, Adrian Cooper's daughter, wrote text, Had Me Odea, to this one, so it became a song later. But we know it is a Beregovsky niggun, number 3. I da da die die die, I die 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 die, I da die da die 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 die, I da da die die die, I da da die die die, I die 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 die, I da die da die 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 die. B section. I die die die, I die 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 die, I da die da die 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 die, I da da die die die, I die die die, I die 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 die, I da die 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 die. So B section one more time. I die die die, I die 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 die, I da die 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 die, I da da die die die, I die die die, I da da die 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 die, I da die 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 die. Okay, how is that? We're going a semitone higher. You know what, this piano is a semitone flat, so I'm now in E flat minor, but it should be probably sounds like a D to you, yeah? I da da die die die, I da da die 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 die, I da die da die 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 die, da da die die die, I da da die die die, die 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 die, die da die da die 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 die. I die die die, I die 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 die, I da die da die 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 die, I da da die die die, 9 o'clock in the evening here. I wonder what my our neighbors think. I think they're okay. Okay, good. Is the video and the sound, are they okay? Is it all coming to your screens? Okay, great, because it's quite grainy here and I've got extra light. Hopefully it all works. Okay, let's look at this song. So I've never heard anyone sing this, and I don't think I've ever seen it in anywhere but this Israeli publication of six books of Yiddish songs, and I found it there. There is nothing but just the song itself. If anyone knows about this song, has heard about it, let me know. Anyone? You've seen the music, you've seen the sheet music, the text, no? Interesting. And also, I should probably ask instrumentalists, because it sounds like originally it was an instrumental tune or a song in a different language. Let's first of all look at the tune. Here it is. Here it is. We'll go a bit lower than you see it. Ta. Okay? 1, 2. Ta da 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 da. Da 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 da. From the beginning. Ta da 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 da. Repeat this phrase. Beautiful, isn't it? Let's go from the beginning. Sing that A melody first, then it goes higher, then it goes up. 1, 2. Ah, da, dee, da, da, dee, da, 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 dee, da, 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 dee. Ah, da, 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 da. It goes higher from here. That's the top line you're seeing now. That's the same tune. So let's sing this higher, the second half of the song one more time, where it goes to that top note, where you see schloft, yeah, at the top of your page now. Ta, 2, 3. Ta, da, 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 da. Ta, da, 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 da. I think it's a very beautiful tune. What do you think? Yeah? Lovely tune. So this is a lullaby, and without further ado, let's look at what the text says. Let's look at this first. Here is the Yiddish, and I'm lost straight away. I've forgotten to... Sounds familiar, don't know the words at all. Yeah, sounds familiar. Yeah, Deborah, I think it just sounds either like some other song or... God knows, I don't know. Now, Stiffen, I'm not quite sure what Stiffen means. Or if zu stiffen hast du doch. Yeah? If anyone can switch on and tell me what it is. Huh? No? Stiffen. I'm not sure. I thought I knew. Let's see what this says. You have all day in which to play. Of zu stiffen was to do.
It's to have fun or to play. It means to play,
Stefan,
like
have fun. Okay, thank you very much. Sorry, I just completely forgot to look it up. Of zu stiffen hast du doch, you have fun all day. A ganzen Tag a großen, the whole day, the long one, yeah? It's der Kind meins. Now, my child, darf man schlafen, it's time to sleep. Es ist schon Nacht in draußen. It's already night outside, yeah? Out there. And then schläft schon lang die Sonne. The sun has been asleep for quite some time already. Die Levone is aufgegangen. The moon has come up, right?
Risen.
Risen, yeah, thanks. Auf dein stillen Wiggele, in your quiet Wiggele, what's it called? Crate? What's it called?
Little cradle.
Cradle, thank you. Seinen Sternen zu hängen, the stars will hang, yeah? Stars are hanging above it. So let's sing it with text here. You should be seeing text in the music. That's the first bit of the song. Ta da ta. That's it. So the first line. 1, 2. Auf zu stiefen hast du doch a ganzen Tag a größen. It's der Kind meins darf man schlafen, sie ist schon Nacht in draußen. It's der Kind meins darf man schlafen, sie ist schon Nacht in draußen. Now the second bit of the melody, let's go up here. Schlaft schon lang die Sonne, die Levone ist aufgegangen. Auf deine stillen Wiegele seien die Sterne zu hangen. I just want to repeat that line. Der stillen Wiegele seien die Sterne zu hangen. Right? We just see what's happening in comments. Anyone wants to say anything? True, indeed, Leslie. Fool around, make mischief. Yeah, profound. Wirklich sehr schön. Gorgeous. Yep. Yeah. Now, shall we go into the second verse straight away? It gets a bit dark there. It gets a bit dark. It was literally dark because it's night in the first verse. And first of all, I thought, what a nice little lullaby, beautiful tune. And then it gets a bit dark. As in many, as we know, in many folk lullabies, the mother tells her story. It becomes personal. Now, I think this is where we are. Ailu mein Teurer, I think, isn't it? Yes. Ailu mein Teurer, oilulu, my dear one, yeah, my sweet, my little one. Werde schon anschlafen when you go to sleep. Wird die Mama dir erzählen, your mother will tell you, was hat mit ihr getroffen, what has happened to her, right? Wie von 15 bin ich eins, from one of 15 I was, right? One of 15, I was one of 15. Bin ich eins geblieben, I'm the only one remaining. So one of 15 children. Gekoljet 7 hat Petlura, 7 of them were stabbed by Petlura. Oral die zweite 7. And Oral killed the second 7, the other 7. Now, here we have a remark, yeah, at the end of this Yiddish text, that Petlura was, also in English as well, Petlura was a very complex figure, and I'm going to ask my father about that later. And Oral was, there is no remark in English, but in Yiddish there is a remark about Oral was a leader of pogrom band, pogrom kind of clique in these times. We're talking about Ukraine in 1919, 1920, 1921. So there, let's
Polina?
look. Huh? Yeah.
He was actually in charge of he was the agent in charge. I've been doing an ongoing class, the guy about this with so Tal Heber Chaboski in Paris.
Uh-huh.
He knows all about this, and that's what we've been learning, reading all the
And
documents.
you're talking about
And he was
Petlura or oral?
about Petlura and about the pogromistas, and he was assassinated in Paris by a guy named Schwarzbard. So it's all. If you need more information, he's the best person to talk to.
Great, thank you. But I thought we'll bring you some live information just from my father about the times, these times. It was just amazing when I asked him, and he actually told me a couple of things that made the connection from this song from a book. Yeah, it suddenly became something that actually relates to my family 3 generations ago. Amazing. So let's sing the second verse, which is here in the text. I've actually typed it in. And one of the reasons why I think that text is not native to this particular music is that it really, it sounds like it's attached to an already existing tune, because where the syllables go is not always natural and predictable. So let's see. Second verse, second line. 1, 2. I know mein Tag, wer schein und schlafen, wer die Mame mit dir erzählen, was hat mit getroffen, wer die Mame dir erzählen, was hat mit getroffen. Now the second bit. Wie von 15 bin ich eins geblieben, gekolde 7 hat Petlura, Oro die zweite 7. And let's quickly look at what happens at the end of this song. I did not type it in, so we may not even have time to sing it, but let's see what happens. So we're looking at the last 2 blocks of text. Dies haben sich behalten, dein Bobbe mit Seiden, wie in Keller dort bei uns geschossen hat man beiden. So your grandfather and your grandmother were in Keller. Is it cellar?
In the cellar.
Cellar. In the cellar, and they were both shot, right? Both of them. And then the last one. Und wenn die Rote Armee soll nicht gewesen kommen, and if the Red Army hadn't arrived, wollt von mir euch, wie von sie, nicht bleiben schon kein Simmen. So if the Red Army didn't turn up on time, nothing would remain from me either. So we see the Red Army as a kind of the saviors here, and maybe some of you saw a film that my husband and I accompanied recently, and accompanied a few times, 5 Brides, which is exactly about this period in history, about these things, and they also glorify the Red Army. Sad comments here. So it's very, very similar to that film. It's an interesting kind of, common theme. So I suggest we don't sing the last verse, just for the sake of time, although historically maybe it would be interesting. I just want to call my father in 5 minutes and ask him about a few little things about this. What do you think? Yeah? Let's sing the first 2 verses as because it'll be easier. Its text is in the music. A very interesting lullaby.
So Paulina, are you saying that the second verse is the one that you think was added, that was not?
No, I think actually the whole thing was
Whole
attached
thing?
to music separately. Yeah, so it's like there was an existing melody and text was attached to it, like it was, oh, I want to sing a lullaby. What, I know this tune. Let me just sing some text to it. You know,
Okay.
it seems to me like one of these songs where text was kind of chucked onto the existing tune. It just sounds to me like this. I don't have any confirmation of that anyway, so it's just my idea. Oh, sorry, I messed it up. Okay. I think some of the neighbors are not happy. Can you hear that? There's a
I
lot-
sleep almost.
Huh?
I fell asleep almost.
Interesting.
Invite them to join. Send them the link.
It's horrible. I fell asleep. I love it. It's beautiful.
Great. Let me see where my father is. I'm going to bring him in and see if he can tell us. Папа, чего тут? Ну что уже, все закончили? Good timing, because they just started knocking. Папа, ну вот, смотри. Say hello.
Hello. Здравствуйте.
Hello.
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 Тебе всех
Nice to meet you.
Рада с тобой познакомиться.
Очень
So
приятно.
I'm going to ask my father a couple of things, yeah, and I think our neighbors are annoyed, so we're just going to chat. Тебе пару вопросов спрошу. Вот мы сейчас пели про Петлюру, и однозначно ли, что это была за фигура, как тебе кажется? I just asked my father, like we just sang about Petlura, and what do you think, what kind of figure was he?
Как вы понимаете, я с ним не встречался.
Of course you understand, I didn't meet him, I never met him.
Поэтому я знаю только, что это очень противоречивая фигура. Он, когда еще был семинаристом, он увлекся националистическими революционными идеями, его посадили в тюрьму он сидел за вот эту революционную деятельность, а потом вышел.
Подожди, переведу.
переведи.
Let me translate. Well, he wasn't. He was a complex figure. When he was a student, he became really nationalistic. He got he started getting into nationalistic ideas, and he was then что с ним? The revolutionary ideas as well, and he was put into prison.
Потом он оттуда смотался,
Then he ran away from there.
освободился, и он приехал на Украину, и там организовал кампанию против гетмана Скоропадского.
А кто такой Скоропадский? So he came to Ukraine and he started a whole campaign against Getman Skoropadsky, who I don't know who that is.
А еще будучи в семинаре, он вообще-то выступал, журнал организовал, он выступал за евреев, кстати сказать, и уже во времена, когда он Скоропадского скинули, его подвижники, переведи.
So when he was still in the seminary, a student, he published some kind of journal, and he was actually pro-Jewish. He was in support of Jews, and then when they chucked away the Skoropadsky, who was in power, apparently some guy in power at that time. Что случилось, когда Скоропадского этого?
Ну, он организовал украинскую какую-то народную республику.
So there was a national Ukrainian republic that he organized.
И вот его люди, вообще говоря, сначала приветствовали, а потом им нужно было грабить, потому что там, в общем-то, ему особо не подчинялись.
And apparently he could not hold power over that new republic because working people and peasants kind of rose against him because he wasn't kind of controlling enough, and it all became, instead of republic, it became like more like a criminal kind of activity of robbing people, and just basically it all became a mess. То есть там
Кстати, было время, когда он организовал журнал, и в этом журнале публиковал много статей еврейских лидеров, в частности Жаботинского, который пропагандировал государство и самостоятельное государство.
Apparently, in that journal that he published, he published some Jewish leaders' articles, including Zhabotinsky article about.
Ну, тогда нет, он просто тогда он же проповедовал создание собственного еврейского государства.
Zhabotinsky articles about creating a state for the Jews. Так, давай к личному теперь.
Ну, а лично что? Он пытался руководить, издавал приказы против бесчинств его деятелей, его там этих не атаманов, а вот, ну, просто банды там организовывались, грабили, убивали. И масса были вот этих репрессий, но он сначала...
So apparently he tried to take control over these groups of people who kind of got out of control, but eventually he didn't manage to do that.
Но они назывались петлюровцы.
They called themselves Petlurovцы, of Petlura, Petlurovцы, kind of belonging to Petlura.
И он издавал указы, чтобы наказывать тех,
And he tried to punish them and all that.
Но никто не подчинялся.
But he couldn't really control them. Расскажи, что еще вообще творилось вот в те... И откуда ты это все знаешь? How do you know it all? Why are you telling me?
Ну, я немножко читал, но я знаю из рассказов моей мамы.
Well, he knows most. He read a little bit, of course, but he knows most of it from his mother's stories.
О погромах всяких банд петлюровских.
He knows about pogroms of all these kind of bands, Petlurovцы, from his mother's.
Там много было атаманов, которые, вот мать моя, вернее, она была маленькой девочкой, но жили они в доме таком, где было 7 девчат маленьких, мало меньше. Ну и когда банды приходили грабить, то в одном месте, там село было большое, длинное, и в конце там грабить уже начинали, а некоторые соседи поближе говорили: идите, бегите, потому что там уже начинали.
So his mother was quite little. She was still a small girl, and she was one of 7 children living in a small town. And when a pogrom would start on one side of the town, there would be some Ukrainians, украинцы или бежали, или евреи бежали, помогали. Говорить, что убегайте.
Украинцы
Ukrainian children would run, Ukrainian neighbors would run and tell the other Jews on the other side of town to run away because a pogrom would have started. So go, save yourselves. So some Ukrainians did help.
Ну и тогда вот кто мог, брали какие-то вещицы и убегали. Например, там через реку переходили на другой берег, и там говорили, вот там ваши люди находятся. То есть
For
евреи.
example, these little kids would say, your Jews are over the river there in that place. So his family would pack up some very necessary things with them and cross the river and join these Jews who would be hiding in a specific place.
А когда они переправились на ту сторону реки, там, и там говорили, что там вот в этом месте находятся баптисты.
Oh, apparently they were hiding in a place where actually Baptists were hiding as well.
Это христиане такие.
Yeah. They know Baptists. They know Baptists. Yeah,
И там
Protestants.
много евреев находились, и там этих сбежавших уже там приютяли, они там их там подкармливали.
And they fed lots of Jews. They kind of helped. There were quite a few Jews hiding there with the Baptists.
Ну, а когда там погромы кончались, все возвращались на старые места, если там находили дома не разбиты, не разрушены. Ну, вот семья наша, моей матери, вот они возвращались и там жили. До очередного погрома. Было много этих всяких бандитов.
So eventually I would wait for the pogrom to stop and go back and see if the house is still okay. And lots of families would go back and keep living there until the next pogrom. Расскажи про
А вот
трагическую.
сейчас я хотел рассказать, как по-разному относились.
Of course, there was different attitude and different relationship with the neighbors at the
Да,
time.
ну вот был случай уже, когда там бандит, которого фамилия была Зеленый. Ну, только
There was one of the
Green.
Зеленый. So my father says that it wasn't just Petlura, there were lots of different bands. Like we saw there was Oriol mentioned, and he says that his mother remembered some guy who was called Zelený, was the Banda Zelenova, a gang led by some Zelený, which means the green one. And they were at some point creating pogroms in town, and she has a very big memory of that.
Ну и вот тоже зашли в дом, где родня, ну, моя мама там, будучи маленькой девочкой.
So
там
they
родители.
came into the house where his mother was little, and the parents and the other children
У них
were.
были спрятана посуда, над потолком там был специальный такой, типа крыши, там, и вот типа антресоли. И вот там была посуда, которая кошерная и все прочее. Они там ее берегли.
So they had a special kind of, is it ceiling under the roof, special hiding place for kosher crockery, kosher plates and things, for better crockery, and they would hide it there.
Ну и вот они добивались, там просили эти петлюровцы, как их называли. Они,
Зеленый.
ну, петлюровцы. Они петлюровцы так и называли петлюровцы.
Так,
Ну, банда зеленая.
so there was
Банда
the
зеленая.
group by Zeleny's band, but they were part of the Petlura
Да.
buddies, yeah.
Да.
So they would come in and search the house.
Ну и требовали, значит, они потрошили подушки, перья
Took all the
выпускали.
pillows apart, all the feathers would go everywhere.
И после того, как они доходили до этого места, так там уже слышались крики вот этих вот плачущие женщины, избитые.
And by the time that they would just get all the things out, they would be crying and shouting from all sides. So there would be like an expanding sound of weeping
Ну и вот
happening.
как раз требовали, и там пацан был маленький, мальчишка,
And there was a little boy,
сказал этому одному вот этому
little neighbor's boy,
грабителю, вот
who
этому,
said to one of the
говорит,
robbers,
дядько, стукни штыком туда, вот.
Дядько, try looking for better things up there with your gun, or with this kind of rifle gun.
Штык.
Rifle.
Ну, он стукнул, там, значит, зазвенела посуда. Они...
So he banged on the ceiling, and there was the sound of crockery.
Ну и когда там
And of course they opened
залезли,
it.
посмотрели посуды, стали бить по голове.
And they opened it,
дедушку.
they got the crockery, and they started breaking it on the grandfather's head, smashing it on his head.
Ну, в общем-то, он не насмерть.
He survived.
То есть по-разному себя
So there
вели.
were different attitudes from the neighbors. So we see children who would help, and they would see children who would not help.
Ну, вот много там деньги выпускали, разные банды свои.
Each group of leaders that they would just
Да.
change all the time would create their own money.
Да, и там они одно время ходили эти деньги, ими обменивались этими бумажками. А потом приходила другая банда и свои выпускала деньги.
So they would be in use for some time, a very short period of time. Then another group comes in power, and suddenly the old money becomes absolutely nothing.
Время уже, наверное, вышло.
So yeah, he says that he could tell much more, but this is just a little bit of
Сейчас еще
history. Let me just ask if they have any questions. Do you have any questions? Do you want to ask anything? It's just interesting, to me, it's my great grandparents. Deborah has a question. Go, Deborah.
You said, I forgot how to pronounce his name,
Petlura.
Petlura started out, kind of pro-Jewish. What happened? How did he change? Why did he change?
Что он начал как вроде как в поддержку евреев, а потом что, почему он поменялся?
Ну, он и поменялся, потому что он поддался общим настроениям.
Because he fell victim of the common kind of moods of pressure of people.
Как руководитель он несет ответственность
As
за
the
то,
leader, he felt responsible.
что его банда вот такие были, и он ими уже не мог руководить.
And could not really do it, he could not control. But I think this is like a historic question that should be more
Да,
to historians, but this is like a personal kind of, if anyone has any of
он
these.
сбежал в Париж, и там его убил один из...
Yeah, мы уже об этом говорили, that he ran away to Paris and then he was assassinated by one of the guys. Okay, I see a couple of other hands up. Yeah, Beth, go.
I wanted to ask what town in Ukraine did this happen? Where was this?
Вот это вот, где это было, какое
родители
место?
мои
Да,
жили.
да.
Белая церковь.
White Church, Белая Церковь.
Oh, Biela Tserkov.
Белая Церковь.
Is that in the is it west, southwest?
Юго-запад, да?
Я точно не знаю.
He's
я
not
там не был.
sure. He hasn't been there.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Anyone else? Yeah, Robin, go.
I just want to say spasiba to your father. It is so fascinating to have a witness testimony like this. So from all of us, all over the world, it's a wonderful thing.
Agree. Spasibo?
Bye-bye.
Oh, Ну чё, все. Okay, well, he's
Bye-bye.
going to have dinner. And we're going to just hum the tune once together one more time. Мы сейчас просто песенку пропоем. Not to annoy the neighbors, we're just going to do it by voice.
Those are the other kind of neighbors, not the ones who would run across the
It's
town.
interesting, isn't it? Isn't it interesting?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
can I say one thing?
Yes, Deborah. You're switched off.
A friend of mine's from Yugoslavia, and she talked about how neighbors, when she left during that war, but she talked about how neighbors just turned on each other, and some of it had to do with 500-year-old tensions, but it was just incredible. People you had lived with peacefully just, became your enemy. It was so bizarre.
I would say it's very complex and difficult to judge all these pressures and wanting to survive, wanting to
Yes.
survive does things to us. So it's really hard, and nothing is black and white, really. So yeah. Well, anyway, let's just sing, maybe let's just sing the first nice verse together as a lullaby to finish this session. And by the way, I probably won't be able to teach a session on the 1st of, 31st of January, because I'll be on my way from here to London, but there will be at least 3 sessions in February, because enough of you wanted to join them. Please follow the page. Yeah, I'm not sure about the 14th of February, but certainly the other dates. Let's go together. Oif zu stiften hast du doch a ganzen Tag a größen. It's der Kind meins darf man schlafen, es ist schon Nacht in Dreußen. It's der Kind meins darf man schlafen, es ist schon Nacht in Dreußen. Schlaft schon lang die Sonne, die Liwane ist aufgegangen. Auf deine stillen Wiegele seien die Sterne zerhangen. Auf deine stillen Wiegele seien Well, thank you very much. It was kind of special for me to share this kind of session with you. Thank you very much for coming. Lovely to see you, and I'll see you again in February. Thank you. Bye. Bye.